Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Glen Alex Show, where it's all about health. On the Glen Alex Show, we focus on total health, which includes the whole person because you are way more than just calories and size. This special episode includes wisdom clips from our 2018 guests who shared their personal health journeys and expertise. This special episode of the Glen Alex Show is brought to you by Allergy Care Centers and their innovative treatment for environmental allergies, and by One QT Boutique. Check it out.
We are Allergy Care Centers located right in the heart of the medical district at 400 Shadow Lane, Suite 202. Here, our provider will do a quick evaluation of your allergy history. He'll perform a simple, non-invasive finger prick blood test. When your lab results come back, he'll go over your allergies with you. He'll then prescribe a customized prescription toothpaste that comes in berry or mint. You brush your teeth for 2 minutes a day? It's that simple. Prick your finger, brush your teeth, brush your allergies away. Make your appointment today.
We have one more.
Okay.
This one comes from Mike, and he wants to know the role played by diet and exercise, how those fit into one's emotional well-being. Want to take that one?
Well, I think that for each person it's different. For me, it is very much nutrition, diet, exercise is very much wrapped up in my emotional health. If I do not feel like I have energy, if I'm proud of myself or what I've done that day, it directly relates to my mood. Now, I'm not a doctor,
But you play one on TV.
I play one on TV. I mean, that's why, we hear the term, emotional eater. You try to find your answers in the bottom of the container of the Ben and Jerry's.
Yes.
They're not there.
They are not there.
But yeah, so I think that diet, exercise, nutrition is very much wrapped up in one's emotional well-being. Just what you just said with the stress.
Yes.
You become stressed out, and if you are taking care of yourself, if you're exercising, if you're going and getting that regular massage, if you are putting good things into your body, you're going to feel good. And when you feel good,
You do
it's
good.
for happiness.
Tell us about your health journey.
Well, in a nutshell, it started 4.5 years ago. I was diagnosed with a cellulitis attack in my leg. And for those who don't know what that is, that's a bacterial infection. Landed me in the hospital for a total of 17 days, 4 days of diagnostic work at Summerlin Hospital, and then rehab for 13 more, which then brought on my diabetes effectively.
Okay.
I have also stage 2 non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because of my diabetes, which means 45% of my liver does not work.
Okay.
And basically I was tasked with having to lose a lot of weight quickly. And a year ago at this time, I was 339 pounds with a 54 waist. And today I sit in front of you with no diabetes, no high blood pressure, 231 pounds now, and almost a 38 waist. So
That's awesome.
yes, thank you.
Round of applause.
A lot of work, but it had to be done.
It had to be done. I'm curious though, because a lot of people are told by doctors that you need to do this, you need to do that, I recommend this to
Right.
be healthier, and most people don't follow that advice.
Right.
I am a dialysis social worker as well, and I believe that 95% of end-stage renal disease is preventable with education and action before the kidneys die. So what led you to actually follow that advice?
When the doctor said to me about my liver having the issues that it is and the need for dropping the weight, at the time when I started all this, initially when I first got sick, I was only 49, and I'm only 53 now. But I have a wife, I have twin daughters that are killing it in the world, and the thought of, God forbid, having a liver transplant if my liver completely fails just scared the daylights out of me. And for many years, my wife and I have tried to get healthy, and the opportunity of including gastric sleeve surgery into my ability to lose this weight, or I should say shed the weight. If I lose it, I can find it. I want to shed it and leave it alone, never to come back. And it was just time. This was like Texas Hold'em for me. This was an all-in move to get my health in order. My wife had the same procedure done 12 days after I did, and she's also doing great. So together, we've both given ourselves a chance to live another 50 years and be around to see our family continue to do its thing. So it was a matter of being all in and having to do it. No more excuses, no more choices. Big lifestyle change, but so far so good.
Well done. And I will say that you might have added, not only added years to your life, but you've added quality.
Yeah, I agree with that because you know what? I know trouble breathing when you're walking and you don't have the ability, you don't want to get up and do things. So I totally agree with that, that things have changed.
Being able to touch your toes and tie your own shoes is a privilege.
Yes, that is so true. Tying your shoes and not having to breathe through it or losing breath is great. So it's funny you mention that was a big benchmark for me. I can bend over and tie my shoes without having to pass out. So.
Or fall over forward.
Right, exactly.
What I've learned in terms of how important it is, breast massage is important.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Okay.
It's vitally important
Okay.
so your breast tissue, if you think about the statistics, 1 in 8 women has breast cancer now.
Okay.
Over the age of 60, 1 in 4 women.
Okay.
So it's getting more and more prevalent. Well, actually, it's decreasing over the last year, but
that's still a high number.
It's a high number. So what keeps breast tissue clear and healthy is lymphatic fluid. Lymphatic fluid, unlike the blood, like the circulatory system, it doesn't have a heart to pump that fluid. So it's only moved by respiration, deep breathing, manual manipulation, i.e. massage, or exercise, muscle movement. Think about the breast. There are no muscles in the breast. The breast tissue lies on top of the pec muscle. Pec is underneath.
Correct.
So there's no pumping motion for that fluid to move through the breast. The only way to do it is manual manipulation. And women can do this themselves every day, very easily. And it's vital. But think about exercise. You put on an exercise bra. There's nothing moving.
Right.
You go to work, you're in a bra. Some women even sleep in a bra. There's no fluid moving through the breast, so that tissue's not getting clean. It's not getting healthy.
Okay.
So it's important.
I had heard on the radio this week that, I don't know where the statistic came from, but about 85% of social media is involved in about 85% of divorces and breakups.
Yes.
Is that true?
That is, I would absolutely agree with that. It turns out your Facebook posts, your Instagram posts will absolutely show up in a court of law, possibly, especially during a divorce case. I always heard coming up in my career, especially as in my law career, don't ever put something in writing that you don't want on the front page of the paper or in front of a judge. Absolutely. Some judges vary how much they pay attention to that or how much effort they put on it, but I have 100% used social media posts in my cases to either prove or disprove a point.
Okay, another reason to be careful about what you post and what you say about other people, because if you don't want to take responsibility for it publicly or in a critical situation like in front of a judge, then don't do it.
Absolutely.
Just don't do it. Okay, well, thank you for confirming that. That's quite frightening.
It is frightening. It is frightening. More frightening is the things that people will say right there in a public forum and then claim that they have a privacy expectation. You don't have a privacy expectation of anything you post publicly.
Not if you have 1,000 friends or even 2 friends.
And you made it public.
Right.
I've actually had to answer that question before, so.
Okay.
Spot on.
Went to the
All right,
doctor,
so note to
and
self.
he gave me the question that everyone hates to hear, and he says, "Do you want to live?"
Okay.
And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you are," and this is what he said. I love my doctor. He says, "You're about a corn chip away from diabetes."
We practice a type of chiropractic. It's called NUCCA Chiropractic. N-U-C-C-A, and it
There'll
stands
be a test
for
later.
Yes, National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association. And so, what it is, it's a very specific system of alignment that's, number one, very gentle. So there's no, as my patients would say, there's no twisting or popping, and that's not a put down to chiropractic. I love all types of chiropractic, but to describe it, it's very gentle, very specific, and it's based on the theory that if you can realign the head and neck, realign the very top bone in the neck, which is called the atlas bone, what happens is it gets pressure off the brainstem. Okay, the atlas is really just a big ring, and it surrounds and protects the very bottom portion of the brain, the brainstem. The brainstem, it controls everything, okay? It controls all the neurology in the body, even controls pain and temperature down into the legs. The brainstem is like my wife, tells you what to do, where to go, how to do it, how to get it done. And if there's any interference, life doesn't go well. Okay, and so we go through life and we have knocks, bumps, and whacks, and the atlas can fall out of position, or just posture, just work. You don't have to have a big accident. And it can cause a myriad of symptoms. And so just by realigning this little 2-ounce bone at the top of the neck, it's a missing piece to many, many people's healthcare puzzle, and it's done very gently. So commonly in a NUCCA practice, and we focus just on a world-class adjustment.
Your take on healthy living?
Sure. Healthy living is really what I look at, Glenn and Stan, is really taking ownership, taking accountability, and looking at what's out there from an education standpoint, from a resource standpoint, and really being the best that I can be, in terms of healthy, not only for yourself, but for your family, for your loved ones, your colleagues at work, and so that's kind of, I look at it more of a all-encompassing, umbrella to take a look at the resources and what we can do to help, fellow mankind, being able to promote the message of health and wellness and what what's required to do so, and what we need to, continually, look for ways and be advocates, not only for ourselves and seeing what's out there. Because you look at the landscape. I mean, health is changing. It's out there. There's a lot of things which is really because of all of us in terms of pushing the envelope, saying, hey, look, this is what I need. Okay, we need to move this forward, whether it be an initiative, whether it be legislation, and so continue to do that. So that's kind of look at the living in total health and looking at the taking the leadership and making the initiative to go out there and create change.
I like that, and you're absolutely right. We do have to be advocates on all fronts.
Correct.
Personally, professionally, in the community. So, well said. What's your take, Stan?
The accountability piece for me is huge.
Okay.
I think too often people expect their doctor to have all the answers.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And they put I think they put too much responsibility in the doctor's hands.
Yes.
I think that we're seeing a movement where there are more and more doctors that are now starting to practice integrative medicine. They're looking at the nutritional side and the benefits involved there as well. So that's great that it's moving in that direction. But I think there's a lot of education that still needs to be done.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that
To the consumer.
Okay. Exactly. That is where I see the chamber playing a major role.
Okay.
Is being that source for education, that source to help all the health, wellness, and fitness businesses be successful so they can spread their message.
Correct.
Yes.
If we can help them be successful and make sure that they stay around for a long time, that message gets to the broader base of the population.
Absolutely.
And rather it being Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber of Commerce, maybe it's the International Health and Fitness, Health, Wellness, and Fitness.
Las Vegas chapter, LA chapter.
That's right. That's right. There's just so much education.
I want to get to something that I feel is important for people to know. And as you all know, my perspective is total health, incorporating the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional to achieve true health. And so what I want to know from you is, how does what's going on in the mouth indicate what's going on in the rest of the body?
Oh, strong connection. It's the same body, for example. And this is about one part of it you can look at. You can tell a lot. When I first look at someone's mouth, their teeth and gums, I could tell a lot about the health of their mouth just by talking with them a little bit.
Okay.
When I see the health of the gums, then we have a pretty clear picture of what's going on everywhere else. Once they open and see what's going on, okay, then I have a good idea what's going on in the mouth. Something very similar is happening in the rest of the body.
Okay.
So,
for example,
if you have a diabetes, it affects the gum tissue. The connection is dramatic.
Okay.
There are inflammation, general body inflammation. You can see it in the size of tissues and appearance, in the tongue, in the cheeks, in the gums, the color. The most important area around in the mouth, around the teeth, is right where the gum line meets the tooth. Keep that healthy, and the rest of life will be a lot better off for you.
Okay.
Find out how to keep that area healthy. Right where the tooth comes out of the gum, right there.
Okay.
Focus your attention on there. Brushing, flossing, rinsing, electric brush, sonic care, hand brushing. It doesn't matter. Keep that area healthy. Find a way to do it. That's number one for everybody.
Okay.
Go somewhere and find out how to keep that area healthy, and the rest of your body will benefit from it.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of the bacteria we find in the gum tissue in the mouth travels, it gets everywhere else. It doesn't belong everywhere else. It gets in heart tissue, it gets in vascular tissue, lungs, different organs, the brain. There are all kinds of connections with bacteria in particular in the mouth and the rest of the body.
So, tell us who you are.
Okay, I am Gus Farkas from Structural Body Therapies.
Okay.
We opened up a clinic a year ago, so we've just passed our first year, so excited.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're located at Ann and 95, and what we do is we provide a clinic where people can come and find a host of therapies, natural, non-pharmaceutical, non-surgical solutions to pain.
Okay.
And also for athletes, we help with
Now,
performance
one of the
as well.
reasons why I wanted to talk to you this month was because it is National Domestic Violence Month.
Yes.
And you are also known as the anger doctor.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So tell us how that came about.
That came about a few years ago. I had a contract with the City of Las Vegas Municipal Court, specifically the Division of Alternative Sentencing and Education.
Okay.
And this is where individuals who were convicted or charged with domestic violence, depending on the seriousness of the charge, they had possibly an opportunity to take educational courses.
Okay.
And so what I did, I taught domestic violence classes for male and female perpetrators, impulse control, the DUI school, and substance abuse.
Okay.
And so I've had, and prior to that contract, I also had extensive experience in domestic violence. I'm a clinically certified domestic violence counselor, national board certification. And so I've had a lot of experience in domestic violence. And first of all, I'd like to define domestic violence.
Okay.
Because it's any affront that could be physical, it could be sexual, it could be psychological, it could be emotional, and also financial. A lot of people only think of, and sexual, a lot of people only think of domestic violence as, he punched her or she punched him.
Right.
Well, it's much broader than that, because much of the domestic violence is psychological, emotional, and financial. Yeah. Most, of course, is the physical and the sexual, but
that's when we become aware of it.
Right,
publicly.
We become aware of it publicly, but I think it's not discussed as much as it should be with respect to the other areas of domestic violence. That would be the psychological, emotional, and financial.
Okay. Now, would you include verbal abuse as domestic violence?
Absolutely. Verbal abuse is also domestic violence, because, as we know, words have a lot of meaning and connotation, and words hurt almost as much as the physical contact. Yes. And anyone who's been involved in that particular area of expertise, domestic violence, or anyone who has even experienced domestic violence, particularly the verbal, as you indicate, they know you can remember these words for the rest of your life.
Scars heal.
Scars heal.
But the mental still plays on.
And of course that affects us as adults in terms of our engagement with others at any level, personal, professional, social, community.
Yes.
And they just feel so good. I wouldn't wear jeans. The jeans look really good, but then going to the store and trying them on and they just didn't fit, I get discouraged. But One Cutie Boutique has boosted my confidence in wearing jeans, and I have. She just feels so good. Let her be your personal stylist.